There you are. Good.
Okay. Hi, Lisa.
Good morning, Madeline. Good morning,
We're
my
back.
dear goddess friend, Rajanira. Quite good.
And my goddess friend
Yeah.
and Isis High Priestess Lisa DeLong. So we're back for another episode of the Sis-Star Love Connection and Collection and grouping. And it's Lisa and I today, which is awesome. So I'm going to let Lisa kick it off because I know she's been getting some downloads and some information, and I've been getting a little bit too. So, yay.
Again, we're more in the continuation of embarking on our journey. And again, more of how it encompasses preparing and planning and getting to where we are at a launch stage. We're not at launch yet. We're not at takeoff. We're not at ignition, but we're getting there.
Prepare.
That's right, preparing, embarking. And last week when I was looking for my rhodonite in my big crystal shelving, and it wouldn't show up for me, I managed to touch my Moldavite.
Okay.
And I looked at it and said, oh my gosh, I have this beautiful piece of Moldavite, and I have it sitting over here because it's very powerful. And I have everything that I need to ground. Got my rose quartz, okay, because Moldavite can, just take you on a trip real fast.
Yes, it can.
Beautiful piece of Moldavite. Here it comes. And I wish everybody could see just the beautiful green that it is. Oh, where are we?
Camera. Oh, there you go. Hold it still for a second. Bring it up just a little bit closer.
Yeah, we'll just go in kind of slow. See,
there you go. Stop right about there.
Okay, yeah. My Moldavite here is wrapped in gold. And you can get it wrapped in silver, or you can get it wrapped in copper. And again, whatever mineral, element you decide to wrap it in, it also enhances.
So let us see the bottom, and let us see the other side. Put it back up to the camera, and let's have different angles of it slowly. Oh,
so
that was
it's a forest green.
Basically. You can almost see that.
Yeah. And it's a very rough stone. You'll find if you find some gems type, it's very expensive, that's been faceted. But Moldavite was created about 48 million years ago.
Pull it back a little bit from the camera.
Yeah, there we go.
There. Okay, perfect.
It was formed about 48 million years ago when a meteor hit the Earth. And it was at such an intense impaction that what the meteor and the earth elements crystallized into this glass-like green structure. So, and it has the extraterrestrial element to it, which is kind of cool. So when you work with Moldavite, it takes a couple of days to get kind of used to it. You feel spacey, you feel, are you doing okay, Madeline?
I'm doing fine. I'm just thinking that's wonderful galactic. I have several pieces of Moldavite that I just love. It's kind of like, Moldavite is, I am crazy over Moldavite. It affects me only in a positive way. It doesn't take me out because I'm super galactic already. So it feels comfortable.
Yes, it does. It reminds us star beings of home. That feeling of home, being back on our extraterrestrial planets and with our star families. So,
and for those of us that don't recognize yet that you are a star being, Moldavite can be a wake-up jolt to you until you get used to it. So it's kind of like, whoa, what is that? And maybe I like it, maybe I don't, but you get used to it. And because it really is a part of you.
That's right.
Truly is a part of you. Sounds odd to say meteorite from out there, however many billion years ago it was, that hit this planet is part of you, but we are comprised of everything throughout all of the galaxies anyway.
Right.
And so it is part of you. Newsflash.
Yeah. So as we're being spiritual, star family, star bodied, star beings, we are in this physical form, and we can bring that energy back in and help with our spiritual transformation, which is very nice with the Moldavite.
It's part of the bonding that I got about bonding. I woke up with that word bonding. That's starting to make a little more sense, Lisa.
Isn't it? Yeah.
And I woke up with the words bonding and locating material soul. So that's kind of how we would describe Moldavite. It's in a material form, and it's a part of our soul.
Right.
Okay, well, so now that makes sense, because I woke up with bonding, locating material soul. What the heck does that really mean? And I was asking you before we got on the call, and you said, just wait, let's just see what unfolds. Well, this is kind of what I'm getting now. It's locating material soul. There's many different material, what we call material objects, like this piece of Super 7. My big piece of Super 7.
Look at the colors in that one. Wow.
Isn't it gorgeous? This is part of our material soul.
Right.
And the locating part, again, is about the becoming, what this whole call is about. Embarking, going more on our understanding journey. Wow, this is an amazing piece, isn't it?
It is very amazing, yes.
Okay, guys, was that what we were talking about? Yeah. So you're going to find pieces of your material soul in places you don't expect. So just be looking for that. Okay. Yay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Let me read a little bit from Richard Simmons' book here. Okay, I love his books. He talks about or Robert Simmons there.
Yeah.
He just talks about the metaphysical aspects of the crystals and the stones. So it's a really good book to have when you're drawn to stones and that, and kind of tells you what he experienced with them and what to expect out of it. So he says here that Moldavite, the key words for Moldavite is transformation, rapid spiritual evolution, chakra activation, cleansing, protection, increased incidence of synchronicities, and ascension of the heart.
Wow.
Its element is storm, and then it's connected to all chakras, especially the heart, the third eye, and the crown chakra.
Element is storm. Now, isn't that curious? Because it can create a storm effect when you're not, when you are not in line to handle it just yet.
Exactly.
Energetically in line.
Yeah. If you're attracted to a piece of Moldavite, again, go ahead and get it. Don't pass it by. It's calling to you. You just may have to have it in its own special place or on an altar for a while you get accustomed to it. And then, okay. Let me read a little bit of this. It says, throughout history and even in prehistory, Moldavite has been regarded as a spiritual talisman. The Neolithic peoples of Eastern Europe wore Moldavite at least 25,000 years ago. And the famed Venus of Wildendorf, the earliest known goddess statue, was discovered in a digging site that contained a number of Moldavite amulets. People of that period also used Moldavite for arrowhead tools. More recently, Moldavite has been viewed as a relic of the legend of the Holy Grail. In some recountings, the Grail was said to be not a cup, but a stone, an emerald that fell from the sky. In other stories, the Grail cup was carved from the emerald. The correspondence of the stone of The Grail with Moldavite are clear. They called all green gems emeralds back then.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the only such green stone that has ever fallen from the sky. Hmm.
And that's all in Robert Simmons' book?
Yes, it is. Interestingly, the energetic effects of Moldavite paralyze those attributed to the fabled Grail stone. Both stones serve to quicken one's destiny and set one upon a true spiritual path. In Czech folklore, Moldavite was believed to bring harmony to marital relationships, and it was used as a traditional betrothal gift for centuries. And it says here the stone of the Grail was believed to have similar properties. In modern times, Moldavite has emerged as a stone most prized for metaphysical purposes. Its effects are widely from mild to almost overwhelming, from physical cleansing to spiritual breakthroughs. And yet common denominators seem to be the revitalization and acceleration of one's path of personal evolution.
Wow.
Okay, so again, grab that roller coaster. Down that seatbelt. Okay.
Put your seatbelt on and see where you end up.
Yeah. Again, most people who hold Moldavite for the first time often experience its energy as warmth or heat. It's usually felt first in one's hand and then progresses throughout the body. In some cases, there is an opening of the heart chakra, characterized by a strange, but not painful, sensations in the chest, an upwelling of emotion and flushing of the face. This has happened so often, it is referred to the Moldavite flush. Cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Moldavite's energies can also cause pulsations on the hand, tingling in the third eye and heart chakras, and a feeling of lightheadedness or dizziness, and an occasional sense of being lifted out of one's body. Most people feel that Moldavite excites their energies, speeds up their vibrations, especially for the starborns. And they find it very relaxing, as if they had a little piece of home.
Nice.
Yes.
See, isn't that what I just said?
Yeah.
Cool.
So again, I would like to encourage everybody to do more investigation of Moldavite. There is so much, not only from Robert Simmons, but there's a lot on the internet about the blessings that and acceleration that Moldavite can bring to you. So it does.
And it's not relatively inexpensive. You can get a pretty small piece, which is just as spectacularly powerful as a large piece.
That's right.
In a price point that is more easily affordable.
Yeah.
If you get the ones that are carved and etched into pretty designs and stuff, those are going to cost you a little bit more.
Right. And
but if you can get your hands on a raw piece of Moldavite, yeah, that one's a little etched, isn't it? Or is it?
Yeah, it's very, very, got a lot of character to it, a lot of crystallization, if you can call it that.
And then the ones the two at the bottom, those are also Moldavite that have faceted kind of.
Yes, exactly. And they'll be sold by the gram. So that's where the dollars are really going to add up.
Yeah.
And most Moldavite it doesn't really have a price tag on it. It's sold by the gram. So they'll have a scale and weigh it for you.
And if you go to your rock shop and you don't see Moldavite, it's mostly because the owners of the stores keep Moldavite in a different area. You have to ask for Moldavite.
Exactly.
It's just not out there readily available. Yeah. Fabulous. Fabulous.
Exactly.
So Moldavite would be a great thing if you're ready to get your embarking into being embarked, completed, ascended journey, finished, moving on in line with the frequency of the vibration of the earth that's rising. Get you some Moldavite and hang on. Put your seatbelt on, see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. And as I said, I touched my Moldavite, and looked at it and says, oh, you need a little bit of a dusting, and so I cleaned it off and that. And the synchronicities were amazing.
Mm.
So in our horse world,
Yes.
we get these little bugs called fly predators, and they eat the fly larvae so that we don't have an overabundance of flies.
Okay.
So at this time of the year, I'm thinking, oh, I got to order mine. I got to get it scheduled and get it ordered. And where I work, we get them to put on display because we're a partner with the people that make these at Murdoch's. And son of a gun, they sent 3 boxes, right? And it's like, what am I going to do with 3 boxes? I can't let these things just die in the package. So I asked if I could have one. So I put it out there a week earlier that I needed to make my order, and voila, I get a free box. I thought it was great.
Wow.
A week later in that week, from last Sunday to this week, right? So, and then for all my lovely ladies and gentlemen that come out here, we have an outhouse outside.
At your place, at
Yes,
your
that's right.
ranch.
You remember that red, white, and blue thing out there, that red, white, and blue box? Yeah.
Yeah, that I just keep walking right past.
Okay.
That one. Yes.
Anyway, the door has just really become weather worn this year, and it's fallen apart. And it's like, man, I got to replace that door, right? And so I'm talking with my next door neighbor, and they're on their way to Habitat for Humanity, and they're going to make a donation of some construction goods and stuff like that. And I says, oh, I got to get there. I got to get me a door for the outhouse, right? And I says, I keep forgetting, and I'm so glad they're open for business now, right?
Yeah.
They weren't open.
Yeah.
And so then she calls me back not a half an hour later, and she goes, Lisa, we have to make a purchase in order to make this donation. What size door do you need? So I ran out there real fast and got the dimensions, and I said, I need a 28 by 70 inch, 78-inch door. So they text me a picture. Oh, that one's perfect. Grab that one, right? So, but you talk about this, half an hour. One of my needs was met within a half an hour of speaking what I needed.
It's showing up that way more and more and more. Time is compressing. That's why you have to be really careful about your thoughts and your words, because it's no longer a delay, so much of a delay that you can adjust it or change it or make it a little different. It's almost instantaneous.
Yeah, it is. But you talk about, I just like, pay attention, Lisa. It's like, I couldn't believe it, right?
Talk about synchronicities, yes?
Yeah, absolutely, and so it was really great to have a door delivered. I paid her for the door and gave her an 18-pack of eggs and was just all happy about that, for being the delivery person. Saved me a trip,
And now those who are using your outhouse, they're happy they have a door they can depend on.
Exactly.
Have a little privacy in the outhouse, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So, and this one should withstand the weather too. The other door lasted quite a long time, but it was an inside door. So, but I just appreciate, and it's like, oh my God, why is all this stuff happening? So, oh my God, I touched my Moldavite, right? I activated my Moldavite because it's been in my display case all this time. I haven't been paying that much attention to it. I touch it, activate it again, and it says, let me work for you.
I'm going to go find mine when we get off this call. I can tell you for sure, because I like having it near me. I have so many beautiful stones and gems and things that I forget. We get so busy in doing the busy stuff that the forgettery happens.
Exactly. And that was so interesting, that the search for one stone led me to touch another stone, and then it increased, it brought my abundance to me. I just love it. I just love it.
Fantastic. Moldavite. I love it.
Moldavite.
And here's the thing that I saw. When you work with Moldavite, this is what happens. You become wide open.
Yes.
Wide open in an amazing way. And this is from the Enchanted map by Colette Baron Reed. And it just feels good. You are free to express your uniqueness to the world and share in all the bounty of life's endless possibilities. And how unique is Moldavite to the world?
Mm-hmm.
And how limitless is it in its bounty? And there's no boundaries. None of us have boundaries. We create our own boundaries.
That's exactly.
Because we are infinite beings.
Mm-hmm.
We are part of the star system.
Yeah, exactly. And all we have to do is ask, be wide open and just put it out there. Verbally say, this is what I need, you see. And again,
Yes.
cautiously formulate what you need
Mm-hmm.
and then be wide open to receive the gifts.
And speaking again of wide open, we want to make sure that we make sure everyone understands to put your protection out around you before. We are always a receiver. We want to receive the information from the highest, most high, from the light, not from anything that can throw us in feeling of not being so well.
That's right.
I guess that's all I want to say about that.
Mm-hmm.
They ended it right there.
Mm-hmm. So, or again, back into Flourite and
Mm-hmm.
Calming the Chaos. Another
Okay.
nice book. Here she is sitting in the middle of an intersection of traffic, as calm as can be, right?
Yes.
I love this book. When I came across this book, I was at a bookstore that I was doing readings at, and I had a little lull in time, and I walked out there and I says, oh my gosh, it was on the counter. She was just checking them all in,
Mm-hmm.
let me see this book, So
Mm-hmm.
again, if you feel that you need some help, great information in here on
And
how
who is the author of that book?
that is Jackie Woodside.
Jackie Woodside.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
Nice.
again, very good book. Now, this is another one of those books that I have not read from cover to cover. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I pick it up and to flip through, the page stops and opens exactly where I need to be. And
Mm-hmm.
again, helps me a lot of times remember what I already know, but I'm not utilizing,
Right.
you see, or just puts a new spin on something so that it tweaks it just enough that the synchronicities go back into motion again. So that's what I love about her book. Okay.
Perfect.
And
And
again,
so you
manage
mentioned
your own
fluoride.
energy.
You mentioned fluoride when you picked up
Yeah.
that book. So what's coming to you about fluoride?
Again, the Flourite, remember, is our piece that, what did I do with it? It's around here somewhere. We talked about it a few episodes ago,
Uh-huh.
about changing the chaos into order.
Right.
Okay. And so that's what I like about the rainbow Flourite. It's got the 3 or 4 different colors in it. But again, it just helps change the chaos into order. First, instead of your linear mind.
It helps to clear a path for you.
That's right. Yeah. So, because we like to put everything in order, we might like to make our lists, and our lists don't work for us on the spiritual plane. So
Imagine that. What's up with that?
yeah, we have to move energy first. This energy has to be moved first. This energy goes this way, or this energy goes this way. We don't want to stall ourselves out because number 4 just ain't, happening for us when we need to do number 6 first, because number 6 has to move out of the way so number 4 can do its job, So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what else you got? Something about horses, I think. What's that?
I do. I pulled out my Touched by
I love that
my
unicorn.
Touched by a Horse deck. Yes.
What's that? What does it say?
It's a Touched by a Horse.
Touched by a horse. Okay.
Mm-hmm. These are some cards that a friend of mine did. And again, it's all about, what horses teach us a lot of stuff, but what is it that we can do? And I love what she's done with this.
And who is the one?
Melissa Pierce. Yeah.
Melissa Pierce.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Spell it because I can't see it.
Yes, it is Pearce. Yeah.
Okay.
Wonderful lady, gifted horsewoman. She does a lot of therapeutic horse interactions, which is great.
Okay.
And she teaches from this deck. So, But I was asking, you know, when Horse showed up there and Horse showed up in the goddess card that I pulled this morning, it was like, wow, what do we need to share with everybody?
And I have an essence for a horse also.
Yes, you do. Yeah, you created that. So here's our beautiful black and white paint horse.
Isn't it gorgeous?
In motion. Yes, in motion. Right?
Beautiful painting too.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So the word that we're doing is mystical.
Okay.
Thought that was great.
It is great.
Yeah. Okay. The vastness of your purpose and the energies of the universe are before you at this time. What was once mundane and straightforward now seems to be full of mystery. Your understanding of the mystical energies is deepening. You feel expansive and at one with the vibrations of your energy and of all creation. Cleanse all your thoughts and connect all your energies to the greater good at this time. The profound and the understanding are becoming more familiar and more clear. Remain in each present moment, staying in contact with your own self. You are being challenged to recognize yourself as the master creator of your moments to come. Take responsibility for all that you put out energetically as you move through your world. The mystical truth is to believe and to hold that others and your own self are already whole, perfect, and complete. Hold that everything is unfolding before you with divine inspiration, in divine time, with divine ease. And so mote it be.
Yeah.
Mote it appear.
Would it be
Mhm.
lovely?
Yes.
Wow. That goes along with everything else we've been talking about.
It does.
And again, it brings forward this wide open.
Wide open. Yes.
That's interesting.
Very much so.
How this stuff just always clicks together.
Mhm. Right.
Wow.
So, and then a goddess card showed up for me today too. That deck I haven't touched for a while, but you can see her sleeping there with the stag in front.
It's turn it just a little bit more because you can only see the stag. You can't quite catch her.
Look at her
Okay.
face lying on its side. She's laying down on top of the planet.
Oh, okay.
And you can see the universe all around them.
Okay. It's hard to see her actually.
It
for
is,
me.
yes. She's very, very muted. Mm-hmm.
And what deck is that?
This is the goddess deck. The goddess knowledge. Oops, let me grab a hold of that a little differently.
Goddess.
Knowledge.
By who?
Let me move my fingers.
I can't read it.
I will turn it in. By Michael Babcock. Oh, texted by Michael Babcock. Paintings by Susan Senden Boulay.
So Michael Babcock, B-A-B.
Mm-hmm.
C-O-C-K?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Goddess knowledge. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see her again.
Yeah.
Can you get her a little closer to the camera, maybe? Okay.
That's the hard part about the shiny cards.
Oh, now I see her. Yes.
She's laying down. She's.
Oh, beautiful face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. All righty. So Rhiannon is the great goddess of, as worshipped by the Welsh. She is an embodiment of life, death, and rebirth. For in her realm there is no death without regeneration. Her name derives from Ragatonia, which means great queen. A shapeshifter, she can assume any form she wants. She often appears as a white horse. She is a muse goddess and is accompanied by 3 sweetly singing birds who can revive the dead or put the living to sleep. The source of the king's power derived from Rhiannon, the queen, and the candidate for the kinghood met Rhiannon dressed as a stag. A regal figure symbolic of rejuvenation, beauty, strength, and instinctual masculine energy. In altar myth, she appears as Yume or as Vivian, the Lady of the Lake.
Mm.
Rhiannon is a beautiful queen of the night, the reminder of the close balance between death and rebirth. She demands that we honor our instinctual and animal selves as a source of creativity, abundance, and order. So,
Wow.
so very
When I
nice.
lived out by the lake 20 so years ago or more, and my kids were little,
Mhm.
her energy was around the lake
Yeah.
because my youngest one could see a lady walking around the lake with a big white horse.
Wow.
And I couldn't see it, but she could.
Hmm.
And she had the horse actually come into our house at one time. She was telling everybody to walk around. You can't walk through the
Oh,
horse.
I remember you telling me that.
Walk around. You have to walk around. You have to walk around the horse. And because she invited the horse in. I don't know where the lady was, but the horse came in the house.
Yeah, well, maybe she shape shifted into the embodiment of the horse.
Maybe so. And so well, okay, we'll walk around. And my son came through. He was 6 years older than her. And she started to have a meltdown. Stop him. Here. Just walk around, okay? It's not going to hurt you to walk around.
Mhm. Yeah.
So he went, ah, and he walked around. He's a teenager now. She wasn't. And so he stomped around and went around the horse. And now he's got kids of his own. And he's like, remember when you made me do that? And I'm like, yes. He's like, well, now I can understand because, you know, you want to keep your kids from having a meltdown. So she was very gifted. They're all of my kids are very gifted. They just don't always tap in all the time, but it shows up when they need it. But we had the beautiful lady, and I'm sure it was Rianna. It was just,
Mhm.
she visited with us daily for a while we lived out there at the lake.
Mhm. Nice.
It was exciting times.
Mhm. Yeah.
And this is the thing about things like that. You have to let your imagination be. You have to just go with what your kids say instead of squelching and saying there's nothing there. You know, go ahead and feed into that and let them expand. Let them reach out. Let them develop their own self, their own ability. Soon enough, the veil would drop harder and they don't have the ability to see so much. But when they're young,
Mhm.
encourage them. Sometimes they get to keep that gift.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes they have to refine that gift.
Mhm.
But we all have those gifts and those abilities. So I
Right.
treasured those days
Mhm.
when we were out there and we had the lady of the lake and the horse
Mhm.
and all the different other elemental beings that showed up. There was always something different at my house. And it was so much fun to be part of it. If I had told my here to be unique.
Mhm. Exactly.
So I just remembered that, Lisa. Thank you very much. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very interesting how Moldavite being the Holy Grail energy, and then here we are talking about the Lady of the Lake. You know, interesting,
Mhm.
interesting. Time through time, how Moldavite keeps showing up, and
In different ways.
exactly.
And it creates different
Mhm.
energetic impressions.
Exactly.
Wow.
Very strong.
The other thing I wanted to mention, you said she's pictured with some birds.
Yeah, three birds. And it says that they sing, and they can either sing the dead awake or they can put the living to sleep. So she's a muse goddess and is accompanied by 3 sweetly singing birds who can revive the dead or put the living to sleep.
So she's a muse and a shapeshifter.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which we all have those abilities also.
Exactly. And the other thing I really like here too is she'll help you with the rejuvenation, the beauty and the strength, and instinctual masculine energy. Stuff we want to fight, right? We want to put it at bay. We don't want to utilize our masculine energy. But here's a goddess telling us it's yours. It's your right to use the masculine energy that belongs to you and rejuvenate.
It's part of that balance that we all have to strive for, and the divine feminine and the divine masculine is part of the balance, for sure. The thing I wanted to say about the birds before I get off of that is, have you noticed how active they are and how much closely they're coming to you, and how loud they are? They're just really chattering over fly in here today, which normally they don't come anywhere near. But now they don't go far away. Even when I step out into the yard, they're still there, looking like, hello, what are you doing here? You know, we're glad to see you, as long as you don't bother us.
Right.
So it's just, they're just all out there now too. The more I talk, the more they just flutter through in this backyard back here.
Right. And they are loud. I mean, my trees are about, 40 feet away from my house, and I can't believe how loud their chorus is in the morning. Just putting out reveille. It's time to give up, get up and get going.
Sometimes they're so loud, I have to step out there and say, okay, they're just with another 3 of them. 3.
Yeah.
Okay, what's going on? What is it that you need me to know about? What's happening out here today? You know, and they'll just look at me. Okay, until we get to where I can bird talk, which I know some people can, Lisa. Until we get to where we can bird talk, I'll just keep asking. I'll keep testing.
Well, if you're questioning yourself, one of the things that you can do, as I teach in my class, is to listen and just be open, wide open, and then ask for the message to be revealed to you later. You might not get the message right then in those moments, but you can ask it to be recalled, like right before you lay down, before you go to bed. In that quiet moments when you're trying to just sort through the day, recall what the animal or the bird or that was trying to tell you about, and you'll get it vividly. Because now your mind is ready to listen to it.
Right, and that going into that quiet space.
Exactly.
Wow. That's when this stuff came to me about bonded, locating material soul. I'm like, and it's this one.
The Isis deck.
Miracle of Isis, miraculous healing of the goddess. And this is a picture of Isis with Osiris. And it is from the Isis Oracle by Alana Fairchild, who this is amazing deck, especially for those of us that are really connected in with Isis. So, wow. What do you guys want me to talk about here? Okay. So I'm going to read this first little paragraph, and then we'll go through this little incantation prayer, okay? So, Miracle of Isis, miraculous healing of the goddess. Isis was known as a talented practitioner of the healing arts and was capable of miraculous healings. For you, beloved, she offers a miracle healing. No matter how much you have struggled with a particular matter, no matter how impossible it may seem to imagine your life without this old wound, addiction, problem, relationship issue, or inner struggle being a part of it, You are guided now to accept the possibility of miraculous healing and let go and let the goddess be. So a lot of us need a little help with having been in isolation for so long. So if you'll just, everybody just take a big breath in and breath out. And close your eyes. Get in a nice, soft, allowing space. Another relaxing, clearing breath in. And breath out. And just listen to these words. Love and light, peace and power. Miracle healing descends this hour. The wings of Isis, drenched with feeling. Nothing escapes her miracle. To me, her love and grace now set me free. So breathe that in and breathe that out. One more time in and out. And now how do you feel? Do you notice you feel different? Anything particularly going on? Any tingles, any insight, any feeling more openness space in your chest center or heart center? What did you feel, Lisa?
I felt like a big satchel of energetic memories, and that was lifted off of my high heart area. Like I'm carrying around this sack of stuff. I think I think I might need. I felt it got lifted off, and it's been put in a place for safekeeping. I just don't have to carry it.
Okay.
So if I want to look through it again in a future time, I'm not carrying it around. I'll be able to go to the void and open it up and find what I'm searching for.
Good. And that gives you more freedom to expand your breath, which is your life force energy, when you don't have that baggage sitting there in that high heart area. Lovely. Okay. Anything else we need to discuss before we say adios?
I just hope everybody's having a enjoyable and lighthearted, I guess is a good one, preparation for your journey, to make all this stuff happen. And please look up stuff, get more information. A lot of times what's relevant to you will show up, whereas we might not be able to speak it here on the class because we're restricted. But look those up, and look up the medicine card of horse and see how does it apply to what you're doing right now. And again, unicorn, Pegasus, any kind of equine.
Everything that we've talked about here, do your own research on it. Also, last thing again, this part about the healing from Isis, and really get into it and feel that. But also we're going to be creating individual classes with this video and some of the previous ones with much more information for you guys. And we'll let you know when that gets going.
Exactly.
But for now, you got us like this, Elise. Okay. Were you going to say anything else? I cut you off. I did not intend to.
The only other thing that showed up this week, and again, you can do your own research on it, This is Septarian stone,
Mm-hmm.
and it's crystallized dinosaur poop.
So spell that. S-E,
Oh, I'll have to get the book out. Okay, hold on just a second.
it's S-E-P-T-A-R-I-A-N, but I'm not sure.
Yes, S-E-P-T, like September,
Mm-hmm.
A-R-A-R, excuse me, S-E-P-T-A-R-I-A-N, Septarian.
Dinosaur poop.
That's right. It is crystallized dinosaur poop. Here we go. This is the Encyclopedia of Crystals again.
Uh-huh, by Judy Hall. Okay.
Got a beautiful picture of it, a geode, you know, a beautiful geode.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's what the outside of the geode looks like, you know. And again, I got this because I wanted it to enhance my communication abilities. How can I talk to people about all this woo-woo, magical, mystical?
Weird stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this one here, if I do a class, I bring this along with me so that I can speak well, and that people can listen well, which is
So it
all.
helps with communication.
That's right.
Open and clear, like Blue Lotus does
Exactly.
in the for the 8th chakra.
Yeah.
Open and clear communication both ways.
Yeah.
Nice.
So lots of good stuff, you know, that it helps out with. Helps you be patient, helps you with the emotional stress that you might be going through, the anger, being reliable or accepting other people's unreliability, flexibility, grounding, really kind of cool. It's very holistic healing stone for self-healing, metabolism, and again, like I said, helps people hear you like you want to be heard with the communication. So I can speak effectively.
That's good because a lot of people go through the feeling of I'm speaking, I'm talking, but it's landing on deaf ears, or nobody is really responding, or nobody's really getting it, or nobody's really caring to hear it, or they can't hear it the way I'm trying to portray it.
Exactly.
So that's great.
It is. And then when you're in a situation with different people, we're all at different levels. How can they hear what you're saying? You know, how can somebody at one frequency hear your frequency? And that's what I really appreciate about the Septarian stone. That crystallization helps magnify what you're saying and puts it in the frequency that that individual can get the most good out of it.
That's really good because a lot of times you'll hear some of the teachers say, well, you have to dumb it down. Dumb it down to speak to them on their level. I don't agree with dumbing anything down. Your job is to elevate those that you speak to. If they're not understanding, you approach it in a different way. But the word dumb it down, that wording never sat well with me.
Right.
And so Septarian will help with that, along with Blue Lotus. So cool. Nice to know. We'll have to take some pictures and post those out when we get our website together for these trainings.
Mine showed up as buffalo. You can see its little crystal geode inclusion right here.
Yeah, it does. Look at him.
Baby crystals in there. Yeah.
Look at that buffalo. He's so cute. I have a couple of big hearts. Big heart ones like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somewhere. Again, somewhere. I'm gonna have to go find my stuff.
Just say I activate my Septarian stones right now. I activate everything.
Yeah. And my Moldavite for sure. And my Flourite. And my Super 7's hanging close.
Yes, exactly. Beautiful piece.
I would have them all sitting right here if I could have enough workspace to do what I need to do with them here. I just may bring them in.
I see some, you know, some places there on your wall right underneath that picture that could just use a nice little shelf, you know.
And just add it all on there, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. Okay, honey. Well, this has been great. Thanks everybody for being with us. We love you all. Hope you have a wonderful week, and we will talk to you again
Yep.
soon.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye, everyone. Bye for now.
Okay.